achieved a 225 bench, a 405 deadlift, and a 315 squat within my first 2 years of weight training. This is the milestone that most weightlifters like to reach before considering themselves an intermediate lifter. But at looking how bent my back was deadlifting last August, it's pretty apparent that I was not training with smart or even remotely safe programming. So if I didn't have any sort of proper powerlifting programming, and clearly I wasn't training in a safe or efficient way, how was I able to lift that amount of weight? To be honest with you, it kind of just came from brute force. Just naturally, while weight training, you're going to gain a significant amount of strength in the first couple years, even if the main goal might not be to gain strength. I knew there was a better way to program my training, and I want to show the significance of programming based on what your goals may be, if that's hypertrophy, powerlifting, or even overall health. Let's start by comparing a push day. On a push day with the goal of hypertrophy, we aim to target the chest, shoulders, and triceps, with a variety of exercises to stimulate the different parts of the muscles as well. I find the flat barbell bench press to be an overall good movement, even for hypertrophy. This exercise targets the chest and can also stimulate the triceps. Important for this movement is to make sure your butt does not leave the bench, and make sure the bar goes all the way down to your chest before pressing. We'll go more into detail about the bench press when we talk about powerlifting. For now, we'll do 2 sets of 10 to 12 reps. The second movement I like to do is some sort of fly, and my go-to lately has been the chest fly machine. The reason why it's important to have a fly is that it targets the inner chest more than a pressing movement would. It's important to get a deep stretch in this movement, but be careful if your shoulders can't handle it. 2 sets of 12 to 15 reps. And that's it for chest. The first tricep movement we have is a tricep rope push down. At the bottom of this movement, it should really feel like you're pulling apart the ropes as much as you can. Try not to swing too much for the best results. For our second tricep movement, we have a tricep rope extension. This one's a little bit awkward to set up, but once you get it, I find it to be really good to target my triceps. Personally, I like to stand up straight, but many people like to lean forward too, and that's alright. For our first shoulder movement, we have a dumbbell shoulder press, and again, this one might be a little awkward to set up. If you want, you can replace this with a barbell overhead press, or even an overhead pressing machine. Drop your shoulders as much as you possibly can at the bottom to get the biggest stretch in your front delts. The final movement we have for our hypertrophy-focused push workout is a dumbbell lateral raise. I like to use very lightweight and shoot for 20 to 25 reps on this to really burn out my side delts. I don't train all 3 heads of my shoulders on this day, as I found hitting rear delts on my back and biceps day to be a little bit more fitting. Next, we'll be comparing this to a push day with the focus primarily of powerlifting. You'll see pretty quickly how different these workouts actually are. We start off again with the bench press, yet we want to be more intentional with our positioning as well as our timing. We want to create a big arch in our back, but not enough where we left off the bench. We want to fill our stomachs with air, puff our chest up, and unrack the bar with our arms straight as possible, sort of like a pullover movement. Shoulders back, slowly lower the bar, pause for a second, and explode back to the top. Next we have a brick press, and the main focus of this movement and the whole entire push workout is to build strength with the different aspects of the bench press. You want to come down a bit faster and really feel like you're exploding after reaching the bottom. Next we have a V-grip cable row, and the reason why we train a pulling movement even on a push day is so we can increase stability within our bench press and make it easier for us to increase our bench press over time. Within all of these movements, you want to make sure you have a tight core, as without this you can have unnecessary strain on the body, typically in places we do not want that to happen at all. And those are our push days. Clearly we can see the major difference between the two is a hypertrophy focused workout is focused purely on building muscle, while a powerlifting focused workout is focused on increasing our bench press 1 rep max. Let's move on now to the pull workout, where we train back and biceps as well as our deadlift. The first movement we have for our back and biceps day is a V-grip row. This exercise primarily targets our upper back and lats, and is one of the many rowing movements that you can do. I just find this one to work best for me. If you notice the straps that I have on, those are just so I don't lose my grip too quickly. My next exercise is a rear delt fly. This is the third head of the deltoid, and I hit this one on my pull day instead of my push day just because I find it easier to fit in. I like to do 20 to 30 reps on these to really feel burn in my rear delts. The next movement we have is a wide neutral grip lat pull down. This is just another exercise where you can do it about 1,000 different ways and get similar results. I just found this one to work the best for me. Our final back movement is a T-bar row, and I like this one because I can get a really good stretch at the bottom of this, and it's easier to keep stable compared to many other rows due to it being chest supported. On to biceps. I only do 2 bicep exercises and 4 back exercises because the back is made up of many more muscles than the biceps, meaning you need more volume for our back for it to grow as effectively. This exercise has many different names: cable drag curls or Bayesian curls. The reason I don't bring my arms all the way back is so my biceps are under constant tension, instead of being able to have a break at the bottom of the curl. I tend to drop set these and do up to 30 reps per set. The final exercise we have is a preacher curl machine. This one I like to drop the reps down a bit more and really try to squeeze my biceps at the top of the rep. Now we can move on to the powerlifting pull day, where instead of focusing on our back and biceps, we focus on increasing our 1 rep max on the deadlift. Tackling the deadlift is easier said than done, and is definitely not just lifting up the bar. With this, we really want to turn it into something that's not going to kill our lower backs, and something that's actually beneficial to our body as well. Starting the deadlift, we want to put the bar right up against our shins and grab the bar outside of our knees. We want to push our chest up tall and push our knees and hips back. We want this to feel like we're hinging our hips during this movement, while also making sure we have a tight core throughout the whole entire lift, even on the way down. Now again, these next exercises should be targeting our weaknesses and strengthening our deadlift, and a Romanian deadlift is perfect for this. A Romanian deadlift is a variation of the deadlift, yet we do not let the bar touch the ground, and we emphasize activation in our glutes and hamstrings. We want to do 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps on these, and you can use straps or a lifting belt if that helps you with this movement. The next movement we have is an upper back movement, and this can be the aforementioned T-bar row or a suggested dumbbell row. We want to make sure we emphasize not only the bottom portion where we can really stretch out our upper back, but the top of the movement where we can squeeze everything together. Next up is a hamstring curl, and again, even though this is still considered a pull day, we're using this workout to target strengthening our deadlift max, instead of building muscle in our back and biceps as if we were training for hypertrophy. We want to finish off this powerlifting workout and every strength-based workout with some sort of core exercise, if that's sit-ups, a plank, or a cable curl shown here. The primary use of this is to create more tension and stability in our body, especially while under a large amount of weight. Also, everyone dreams to have a six-pack, and this definitely does not hurt. Comparing these pull days, we can start to see how these programs come together. The hypertrophy one tackles specific muscles, and the powerlifting workout tackles any weaknesses or places for us to improve our deadlift. Leg day is scary for most people. It hurts, it's tiring, and a lot of the time it's not very fun. Here's what my hypertrophy-focused leg day looks like to make it as bearable as possible for myself. I like to start with the seated hamstring curl, as not only does this isolate my hamstrings early on within the workout when they aren't tired, but it gets them as well as my knees warmed up for our next exercise. Next, we have a heavy Smith machine squat. I like this exercise because it targets almost every portion of the upper leg muscles, with an emphasis on my quads. I have knee sleeves on in this clip because I've been having some knee pain recently, and these have been able to help me feel more comfortable squatting. This can be replaced with a leg press or even a standard squat. This exercise I just started implementing, and it's a pit shark Romanian deadlift to target my hamstrings. I prefer these over standard barbell Romanian deadlifts as they're more stable, easier to grip, and I can load more weight onto my hamstrings. Be careful and make sure you have a spotter for this, as it's almost impossible to re-rack by yourself with this exercise. Next up is a seated calf raise. I prefer to swap these out once in a while for a standing calf raise, as it changes the position that the calf is under load, and it's nice to switch it up to prevent injury or even burnout. It's important to go nice and slow on these all the way through the movement to feel the best contraction in the muscle, as well as prevent injuring yourself once again. And the last exercise we have for this workout is a seated leg extension to isolate my quadriceps one last time. These are also what makes me most sore in my opinion, so I like to throw them at the end to avoid affecting any other movement. It's good to control the eccentric portion of the movement, which refers to the downward or lowering phase of a movement. And finally, we have our powerlifting focused leg day, where our main priority is building up strength in our squat 1 rep max. The first step of a proper barbell squat is to grip the bar a distance that can not only be replicated, but it's also comfortable for you. Bring your chest to the bar and emphasize setting your hips back while lowering under the bar. The reason why this is important is so we can set ourselves up to be under the middle of the bar, not slightly off to the side. Bring your chest up and elbows forward and stand with your hips. Slowly step out and back. Put air into your stomach and sit back, emphasizing your hips and knees coming back, without any significant change in angle in your torso. In this first squat, my knees went forward just a little bit. Another aid that could be used is a padded Titan bar, and you can just see how quickly this helped me stabilize my torso compared to the original barbell squat. A good secondary movement we can do is a leg press. We want to make sure we lower the weight to a proper depth and push through without locking our knees out. Like I said, this workout is used to tackle any sort of weaknesses that we may have in the squat, while strengthening it as much as possible at the same time. For example, if you struggled with getting out of the bottom of the squat or the hole, you may have weak hamstrings. If you find your knees caving in while squatting, you may have weak quads. It all comes down to targeting your weaknesses. An upper back exercise is essential for a squat day, as it helps us not only tighten our back, but gives ourselves a nice shelf of muscle for the bar to rest on when we do squat. We've already talked about it, but I like the T-bar route. And that's it. Not quite as different as some of the other ones we've seen, but clearly within this 3-day window of programming, we can just see how different this programming becomes based on what your goals may be. And that wraps up the breakdown of hypertrophy versus powerlifting focused training. As you've seen, while these exercises may be simple, it's not just lifting a weight and setting it back down again. It's important to be essential with your planning and have an intention behind each movement, as this could completely change the outcome of your training, whether it's to build as much muscle as possible, get as strong as possible, or even just to train smarter and safer. You need to align your workouts with your purpose. Thank you.